There's this really strange opinion going around, and I have to be honest, I don't agree with it whatsoever. You're going to hear me talk about it in just a few moments. We have to go over this first signing that the Yankees made of the offseason. But there is just this narrative going around that, number one, I don't agree with. And number two, some would say it's kind of wrong. And it's wrong for the New York Yankees as fans that we're even thinking that way. I'm going to talk about it in just a few moments, but before I do, leave a subscribe. If you're not subscribed, it's free. So do me a favor, hit that button. Let's get us to 24,000. So the Yankees, first things first, the Yankees have signed Ryan Yarbrough to a major league deal. Now Yarbrough went 3-1 for the Yankees in 19 games, 8 starts, pitched to a 4.36 ERA, 64 innings pitched, 55 strikeouts, and 1.203 whip. But what you really have to look at is what did he do when he started games for the Yankees? Now, as a reliever, he had like a 5 ERA. As a starting pitcher for the Yankees, totally different story. Ryan Yarbrough had like a 3.83 ERA as a starting pitcher for the Yankees. That's different. That's not an ace. You don't want him to be your ace. You don't expect him to be your ace. In fact, he's getting paid $2.5 million with a $250,000 incentive in there. So he's not being paid much. But he is a guy that pitched well for us when we needed him in certain, I would call them spot starts. And that's basically what he's going to be for us. A lefty out of the pen, a spot starter. That's it. Now, I see some Yankee fans freaking out about this. There's no reason to. First of all, of course we want Imai, the top Japanese pitcher on the market. Of course we want him, right? Absolutely. I want him too, and the Yankees are very interested in getting him. However, you have to listen to what Cashman said at his press conference, whether you agreed with him or not. It didn't really seem he was very eager to add a starting pitcher. When he was proposed that question about, hey, being that Rodon is out and Cole is going to miss some time at the beginning of the year, are you going to add a starting pitcher? Cashman basically said, maybe, but we kind of need those spots for Rodon and Cole when they come back. So that was just an interesting take by him. Then all of a sudden we're getting this information that the Yankees want Imai, and I hope it's true. I would love to have him. But don't be shocked if they don't add to the starting rotation. I'm just preparing you now. If they do, awesome. Love it. Don't be shocked if they don't add a substantial arm. Now, this Yarbrough signing doesn't mean that they won't add a substantial arm either. So don't think that. It's just a simple depth piece. It's a guy who enjoyed, I would think, he enjoyed his time in New York. He came back here. He wants to pitch here some more. So let's talk about Kyle Tucker. And this was the thing that I was talking about, how there's this opinion going around. It's a really weird one because now we're kind of talking against Kyle Tucker. And Tucker's one of the better players in Major League Baseball. And some of you, shockingly, don't want the Yankees to get him. And he really didn't have the best year last year. I believe he played that second half hurt, right? But those 22 homers, 266 average, 73 RBI, 841 OPS. That OPS was still very strong. Better than Bellinger's, better than Grisham's. He didn't have the Kyle Tucker year that we're used to seeing from him, but Kyle Tucker at Wrigley Field, his numbers weren't very good. His first half numbers were amazing. They were awesome, all-star numbers. But as I said, he was hurt in the second half. So in my opinion, that's why he kind of fell off in the second half. Now, assuming he's healthy and he's fine, which he is, the Yankees have to go and sign him. He's perfect for Yankee Stadium. Perfect. Now, I'm seeing this take, sign Cody Bellinger over Kyle Tucker. Sign him over Kyle Tucker. I'm not saying not sign Cody. I'm not saying for the Yankees not to sign Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is an excellent corner outfielder. Excellent corner outfielder. He provided production in our lineup that we didn't necessarily expect to get out of him. He was almost a 30 home run, 100 RBI guy. You did not expect that. Don't tell me that you did. And he has the ability to play first base, played 26 innings last year at first base. Didn't really play too much, but he came up as a first baseman, so that is his natural position, I guess. But he's an excellent corner outfielder. Why is this narrative out there that you have to pick between Cody Bellinger and Kyle Tucker? Why? Now, the Yankees probably are, and maybe that's where you're coming from. But why can't they bring in both? And I'm going to say this, I'm going to say it again, scream it from the rooftops. You're losing Trent Grisham. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but guess what? He hit 34 home runs for you last year. Giancarlo Stanton's probably going to miss 50, 60 games. You have to get that production somewhere. Kyle Tucker's perfect. You need to bring back Cody, and you have to sign Kyle Tucker. Cody could play first for you. He could play left. He could play right. Tucker, he could play left. You could put him in left. He could play right field. He's athletic enough to play center. Food for thought. Kyle Tucker, his defensive numbers last year was his worst defensive year of his career. And it wasn't even that bad. As I said, he was playing hurt. If you look at his other years, I mean, really good defender. Outside of last year, really good defender. So if you think that we're going backwards on defense, Cody Bellinger arguably had the best, had his best defensive season last year. Cody has 2024, similar year to Kyle Tucker's defensive year last year. That's what the numbers tell me. When it comes to defensive runs saved, outs above average. 2024 was only a year ago. Having this mindset, it's either or. First of all, as I said, you have to replace those 34 home runs from Grisham, bringing in Tucker. That's one way to do it. And I think that is the way to do it. Very easily. As well as bringing back Cody Bellinger. Now, will the Yankees add that much payroll? I don't know. They have like $80 million off the books this offseason. So maybe they could figure something out. But to rely on Spencer Jones and Dominguez to be those two guys to replace Grisham's production, what are we doing? You had Juan Soto a few years ago. You had Juan Soto. Had a tremendous season. I believe 41 homers. Had an awesome year. Hit 281. Drove in 100. Almost a 1,000 OPS. Not quite. I think it was like 930 or something. I could be off. But you needed to replace that. What did you do? You replaced them with Cody Bellinger. You were thinking you were going to replace some of that production with Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie hit like 10 homers. But Trent Grisham came out of nowhere and hit 34 homers. You basically replaced his production with Grisham and Bellinger. Now, what you're telling me is you're going to bring back Belly, but now you want to replace Grisham's production with Jones and Dominguez? I love Dominguez. I like Jones a lot too. Putting that pressure on a year two player and a rookie, why are we setting those expectations on those guys? I guess they both have to hit 15 homers each to get to 30. Like, I get it, but go out and get the sure thing, and then you could keep one of those kids. You could keep Jones or Dominguez, then use one of them for a trade if you're able to sign Tucker and Belly. I just don't get this either or conversation. Maybe I'm missing the boat on something. Maybe it's because people just don't think that the Yankees are going to go and sign both of them. And listen, they probably won't. But I'm saying, instead of putting this narrative out there that it has to be one or the other, why can't we push this narrative that it could be both? And it has to be both. Why can't we do that? Push the narrative that it has to be both and scream it from the rooftops so this Yankee organization freaking realizes it. They don't listen to the media, social media especially. I'm not saying they do, but what I am saying, as Yankees fans, as people who've been supporting this brand forever, our entire lives, we have a say in this. We do. So us just accepting the fact, oh, Cody over Kyle Tucker. No. That shouldn't be. It shouldn't be either or. Get them both. And if you can't, you can't. If Tucker signs elsewhere, if Cody signs elsewhere, fine. But do me a favor. Go and get both of those guys. Because you kind of have to. You have to. And last year, I know Ben Rice hit 20-something homers. Like, I get it. You did not expect that out of him. This year, I expect more of the same out of him, of course, because you need that production out of him. But go and get that thumper in Tucker. Go do it. He's a pull hitter. He'll hit 35, 40 home runs at the stadium. I believe 20 of his 22 homers he pulled last year. It's a no-brainer to me. It's an absolute no-brainer. Don't choose one or the other. Go get both.